Welcome back, everyone. The legal troubles keep piling up for Rap Mogul Diddy. A 1999 New York City club shooting that allegedly involved the rapper might become part of a federal investigation into him. Law enforcement sources are telling the New York Post that. Here to talk about that and so many other Diddy issues is Paula Frolic, News Nation senior story editor, and Misty Marris, trial attorney and legal analyst. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Misty, I'll start with you. We've had a victim of that 1999 club shooting on News Nation, saying she wants the case reopened. Here's what she said to Elizabeth Vargas.
I'm willing to have a doctor remove a part of the 9mm bullet in my face so that they can use it as evidence if need be for this trial. And it may cost me my life.
You would be willing to do that now?
I'm willing to do it.
Oh my gosh.
So what do they have to say to that?
Yeah. Okay.
I have 9 bullets. I'm sure I can spare one.
9 bullets. I'm sure I can spare one. What is needed, Misty, to have a case reopened?
So at this point, it seems that the federal government is now opening up this investigation a bit wider and even going back so many years. So in order to have a case reopened, there would have to be some sort of new evidence that relates to that shooting that would potentially lead to an additional investigation and ultimately an indictment or something down the line. So there is a standard, and there would have to be something new that comes up at this point that would allow investigators to kind of pull the string and follow those leads in order to potentially bring charges. So it's a really long time ago, but it sounds like this victim, I mean, she's willing to have one of these bullets removed. That could certainly be something. That would be forensic evidence. Forensics has come a long way at this point. So that could be something that could help initiate an investigation.
Paul, you want to add something?
Yeah, I do. So it all goes back to Rodney Jones. So Rodney Jones is the thorn in Puffy's side. In his assault case, he's also saying that Puffy has been bragging how he paid off witnesses, how he paid off everybody in that case and got away with it. He's also saying that Jennifer Lopez was the gun and drug mule as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Sticking with you, Paula, Diddy's 25-year-old son, he's weighing in. He actually posted on Snapchat, "Stop with the cap emoji." That's slang for stop lying. But this massive lawsuit says his dad lied about his brother Justin's role in a 2022 shooting.
Yep.
There's a lot of details here.
There is. And Rodney was actually around for this shooting. So what he's saying happened was at the Chalice recording studio in L.A., there was Justin, Diddy, Rodney, and a guy named G, who is Justin's friend. And Justin, Diddy, and G got into a fight, went into a bathroom, shots rang out. Rodney goes in. There's photos of bloody clothes. This guy was shot. Rodney said he was bleeding out. He had to get him to an ambulance. And then later, Diddy had him say that it was a drive-by shooting. And 3 months later, 3 men were arrested for a string of robberies, and they also said, well, you know, they also did the drive-by shooting. But Rodney's also pointing out that head of security for Diddy, Farouk Mohammed, has very good and deep ties with the LAPD and is known to make people and situations disappear.
So, Misty, the problem's obviously piling up. I want to show our viewers a timeline of sexual assault lawsuits against Diddy just since November. How can Diddy start to build a legal defense as more and more cases continue to appear?
Well, right now, all of those were civil lawsuits, and Paula did such a great job laying out Rodney Jones. And what's kind of interesting about that particular lawsuit, it's not from that long ago. It raises allegations in 2022 to 2023. So there isn't as much time for the evidence to no longer be in existence. There will still be witnesses. And something that I found incredibly interesting about that lawsuit when it dropped is that Rodney Jones actually admits in the lawsuit to engaging in what would be criminal conduct, except that he says that he was under the direction and control of Diddy. So what does that tell me? That tells me that he's going to speak to prosecutors, to the government, and share information. You could see a deal. So teeing up a defense, it's going to be dependent on each individual case. When it comes to the ones from the 90s, they're more difficult to prove because they're so aged. But the ones that are more recent, Cassie, that case settled, so that's off his plate. Rodney Jones seems to be the precipice for opening up what is now an extremely complicated federal investigation.
I know there's so much more to come on this case, but I do want to talk about another one. Let's talk about the Jacksons. There's trouble in the family between Katherine Jackson, she's 93 years old, of course, Michael Jackson's mother, and her grandson, 22-year-old Blanket. Paula, what's going on here?
So it all started because the kids, and Blanket his name is now Biggie, B-I-G-I.
Good to know.
So he wanted to sell the $600 million catalog to Sony. And Katherine said, no, 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 don't do that. So they both, fought. Blanket Biggie won because he and his brother and sister, Prince and Paris, are the sole people for the estate. Now, Katherine has a smaller fund. She gets $1 million a year. She's now asking that the estate pay for her legal fees to fight this, to fight the Sony acquisition. They're saying no, but also what Biggie is saying is people around his grandmother, because she apparently had profligate spending, people around his grandmother, including family members, which is most of the Jacksons minus Janet, and strangers are taking advantage of her and trying to get the money out. And so they're just trying to say, hey, we are protecting you. Here's your money. No more.
Interesting.
It's not, listen, she's not going to be on the street.
Right.
And I doubt they would ever let that happen. But at the same time, they're like, this is our estate. Let us do what we want with it.
Misty Marris, Paula Frolic. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.